you've likened MDMA to the discovery of antibiotics. How so?
Yeah. Okay, so this is an interesting idea. The idea being that if you go back to 19th century general medicine, at that point, doctors were losing the battle against the infectious diseases. People were dying left, right, and center over respiratory diseases, TB, cholera, problems like smallpox, post-operative infections. These were rife, and we treated them symptomatically. We attempted to try and treat the symptoms as they arose, but we didn't know about the microorganisms, and we didn't have antibiotics. And then in the early 20th century, when we discovered the microorganisms and antibiotics, it just transformed medicine. We completely transformed medicine and finally got on top of the major killers of humanity, which were the infectious diseases. Now, back then, before we had the antibiotics, general medicine was very good at what we call epidemiology, tracking disorders, classifying, diagnosing disorders. We knew who got smallpox. We knew how post-operatively infections killed, but we didn't have a decent treatment. Now, my proposition is that we are in psychiatry today where we were in general medicine that 100 years ago. We know all about depression and anxiety and trauma. We write these long manuals of classification and diagnosis. We spend so much time talking about how you get depression and anxiety, but our treatments are poor. Like I said before, our treatments are symptomatic. They don't get to the cause. So I see trauma as the microorganism. It's an infection. And at the moment, what we do is we paper over the symptoms. It's a bit like taking paracetamol or aspirin. I think you call paracetamol something different in the States, don't you?
I'm not sure what it is, so yes.
When you got a temperature.
Yeah, aspirin or ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen, okay, so we'll take those examples. It's a bit like taking those when you have an infection. If you've got an infection, you can take those. They're good, that your temperature comes down, you feel a bit better, they treat that symptom. But aspirin and ibuprofen are not antibiotics. They don't actually attack the bug, the organism.
Right.
And that's what we do when we give these SSRIs and these antidepressants for trauma, for PTSD. We bring down the temperature, but we don't, Prozac, antidepressants, they're not antibiotics. They don't get to the trauma, but MDMA does. MDMA is the first real opportunity that we've had of a drug that gets to the trauma, attacks the infection.